Next, we have Paul Warren, who's also from Stanford. He works with the Stanford Student Space Initiative, and he's going to speak about some truly cosmic opportunities. Paul was one of the student panelists and breakout leaders at the TeenTechSF at Stanford event last May.
Hey everyone, like most or many of you in this room, I am lucky enough to have the best job title in the world, student. If you think about it, it's really a golden ticket. It's the license to ask stupid questions. It's the freedom to go up to the random mentor, the random teacher, to email the C-level executive, the CEO of the guy down the street, and say, hey, I'm a student, you know, I don't know much, but I'd really love to learn. Do you think I could get the chance to come in and learn about what you're doing? And it's the beautiful golden ticket because everyone loves talking about themselves, and everyone loves trying to help other people. So if you are able to flash the student card as often as you can, you will find opportunities galore. But there's something important here. This is going to be a little bit different than something that I did a lot in high school. In high school, played the numbers game a lot. Cal Newport, How to Be a Straight A Student. You know, I read all those books, tried to play the numbers game as often as I could. And it really was not fun. I did not enjoy that. And it really didn't get me much or anywhere or anything. And the really important thing that I found after 2 or 3 or 4 years of experimenting in terms of how to figure out what I want to do and how to accomplish the most that I can and be the most interesting person that I can and do the most interesting things I can is something I call the shotgun approach, which is just try everything and see what sticks. You can go ahead and study for the test, or you could apply for a really random opportunity. You can, make your about.me page. You can email use your student card and email the professor and say, hey, I really want to get involved in your lab. Can I come in and think about working here for the summer? And if you do enough of that, eventually something sticks. For me, one of the things that stuck was in 11th grade. My science teacher pulled me aside out of class one day and said, hey, Paul, there's a national organization that's trying to give students opportunities to send experiments into space. And if you write a proposal, everyone in the county's doing it, but we'll help you if you want to write a proposal. And if it gets in, you can go up on SpaceX Dragon. I said, okay, yeah, that sounds awesome. Wait, you're saying I can send something on this? I can send something on that if this works out? And they said, yeah. And I said, okay. I had no idea what idea I was going to do. I did not really, I used the student card. I emailed people and said, hey, I'm thinking about space experiments. Can we meet to chat about space? Can I, let's read all the science fiction I can. Let's learn as much as I can through TED Talks. And eventually I found something by Cynthia Kenyon about how when you modify a gene in a specific type of worm called C. elegans, you can make them live for up to twice as long. And I talked to a couple folks and I said, oh, hey, it'd be really cool if I could, if we could send that to space and see if that happened in space too. And they said, sure. And I said, okay, so I wrote the proposal. And it would be a very boring story here if that did not work out. That's why I'm here telling you about it. So a couple months later, I got called down to the principal's office for the good news, the acceptance, the congratulations. And I said, wow, this is awesome. I have the chance to send something, a biology experiment to the International Space Station. I should have taken AP Bio. And tried to figure out how to actually go about making something like this happen. The feedback I got on the proposal was, this would be a really cool idea if you could get it to work. It might be a little tough to do this by yourself. So I used my student card, and I emailed all the professors I could find. I Googled C. elegans. I emailed Cynthia Kenyon. I just said, hey, I'm doing this experiment. Can you send some resources my way? Can we have a phone call? Can I chat? Really, can you help me with this? And the general thought here was just once you have the opportunity, once you find something that sticks, you go all in. You really do not have a reason to hold back. Once you have something that you think is cool, there's always something that you can do to make it cooler. And in my case, I ended up finding a mentor at the University of Nottingham in the United Kingdom. And after a month or so of emailing him back and forth, of him sending me some papers and me trying to convince him that I was actually serious about this and that it was actually going to happen, I was lucky enough to convince him to fly from the United Kingdom to my high school to give a talk at my high school and chat with me about the experiment. Finally, at the end of that, he said, okay, you're serious, I'll help you out. And he introduced me to some folks at the National Institutes of Health in Bethesda, which is where I found the mentors that I needed and used my student card to its full advantage. That only happened because I was able to use the student card to go for everything that possibly, that was available for me. And at the end of the day, it did fly, and it was the best thing that possibly could have happened in high school. And that was what convinced me to throw away my Cal Newport book. That was what convinced me to go for all of the projects and to really, really subscribe to the shotgun approach. The idea here, though, is that I'm standing up here telling you about one of my successes. The downside to the shotgun approach is that a lot of those things are misses. A lot of the things are failures. For every 10, 100, 50 things you try, one of them sticks, 20, 30, 40 of them, they don't. But it's really, really important to remember that at the end of the day, you're not going to remember the ones that fail. You're not going to stand up on a stage and tell people about the opportunities that did not work out. You're going to talk about the things that shaped you, and the failures and the successes, and you're going to remember and be shaped by the things that you were able to take as far as you could. My roommate and I have something we like to constantly remind each other of. It's the 95% rule. 95% of the time, you don't get something. But nobody remembers, we don't remember the 95%, we remember the 5% of the times we do. So it's important to do the shotgun approach, to learn as much as you can, to try with as much as you can. And it's important to realize that it's okay to fail. And it's actually important to embrace failure. Because I'd honestly say if you're not failing every week, not every day is a little much, but if you're not failing every week or every month, if you cannot remember the last time you failed, then that means you're not thinking big enough. The other important question that you have to ask yourself, if you're doing the shotgun approach, if you're trying to go for anything, for everything and everything that looks interesting, and you, like a lot of other people in this room, are interested in everything, you don't know where to start. You don't know which opportunities to pursue. You don't know which ones you want to go big in. And the important question here is to figure out why you're doing the things you're doing. Before you do any activity, before you apply for any job, before you go to any conference like this, you want to ask yourself, what am I hoping to get out of this? Why am I doing this? And at the end of the event, you want to be able to think about what you learned and what you did, and you say, I came to this event to do X. Did that happen? And if you are able to ask yourself this question, this why, you will be able to learn more than you ever will if you just constantly go along and just accept what other people tell you. So, shotgun approach. It's okay to fail. Ask yourself why. Go big or go home. Thank you.